All of us set goals. And there's a lot of information, books about setting goals, apps for setting goals. There are plenty of influencers who talk about setting goals and have all kinds of modalities for setting goals. And it seems like we're always setting goals, especially beginning of the year. January comes around, we all got resolutions. What is it that we want to achieve throughout the year? And in Unity, when we talk about manifesting and things that we want in our lives and things that we're striving for, things that we want to call into our experience, we don't call them goals, but perhaps we just say that we want to manifest something, or there's something that we want, and we've got it in our mind's eye. We've got carrying something in our hearts that we want to bring into our lives. And then we settle on it, and we start doing the work to bring that into our lives. And that work is acting as if it's already here. Saying thank you, being grateful for its manifestation already, because as soon as we claim it, it already exists in the ethers. It exists in pure potentiality within our hearts and within this quantum field that is the universe. And then we call it towards us. The more that we think about it, the more that we feel it, the more that we visualize it, it comes forth into our lives. It shall come forth. Because as soon as we align with it and our frequency becomes that of someone who believes and knows that it is here, it rushes in. It rushes in. I have thought a lot lately in this last year about what I'm calling in and how I decide what that thing is. And for most of my life, I realized that I called in things that were a little beyond the pale for me. But there's the rub right there, a little beyond. So just a tad more than what I had. And as I was thinking about this earlier today, I thought of Oliver Twist when he goes up front and he says, "Please, sir, may I have some more?" And of course, they look at him like he's crazy, and they ask him to say that again, and he says it again, but now he's kind of tenuous in his asking, and he asks it more like this big question. He's thinking now this wasn't a good idea that I came up here and asked for this, because nobody has asked for more before. And I think most of us, when we are asking for things, when we are claiming things, are just like Oliver. We go up and we're not sure, and then we realize something happens in our heads and we think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have asked for that. And we expect that the hammer's going to drop. And that's what happens to Oliver in that scene. They all go crazy, the people that he's asking. And he's in trouble. And they take him by his ears into the office. How many of you can relate to that, being taken by the ear somewhere? And so many of us ask, claim of the universe based upon what Oliver felt. I'm going to ask, but I really shouldn't ask. Or I'm going to ask, but I'm only going to ask for this much because that sounds reasonable and because that's logical for me. Because I'm worthy of this, but I'm not worthy of that. And we expect to get slapped back for asking for more. I never used to ask for the big thing. Never, never, never. Because I just didn't think that's what happens to me. Well, I was raised that way, for one, and I had to break through that narrative that was almost in my DNA. It was ingrained so deeply. That's just how my family operated. You can have, but you can't have too much. And you ask for too much, then, that's like bordering on sinful. Like, what do you, who needs that much? Who needs that? So I've been trying to break that narrative, rewire that thing in my brain that wants to come up and say that to me when I'm claiming things. So that became furiously evident last year going through this health challenge. And as I looked at that, and as I felt that, and as I started to achieve that, and as things were going well, in fact, it didn't even occur to me to ask for certain things. I just wanted to get to the point where my test results said that there was no cancer in my bloodstream. I just wanted to get there. And most of us think, I just want to get there. And you see a little spot on the ground, and you claim that. But you don't look beyond it, because you've never looked beyond. You've never looked beyond. And it didn't occur to me to look beyond, because in the beginning, that was huge. That was huge for me. And then when I got there, I thought, why is that all I asked for? And is that all I want? So those are two questions I keep in the back of my mind now, all the time when I'm claiming something. Why is that all I asked for? And is that all I want? Is that all I want? Sometimes I think we have to get to a certain spot before we recognize it as falling short from what we truly want. You got to get there and go, oh, this is an interesting place to be. What if I had asked for more? What if? And what's the what? What is that thing that's beyond that? So I had to sit with that for a while, which I don't remember what the while was. I think it took me a couple of days, because I really went into prayer and meditation about that. What do I want? What's beyond that? And I asked for inspiration about that. Tell me what's beyond that. Because Spirit always knows, and it's always available in the quantum field. The quantum field is just a gob, that's a technical word, of infinite possibilities. Just when you think you have gotten to the end of what's possible, the quantum field blows up and there's more. Because there's always more. There's something around the corner, there's something deeper, there's something higher or wider or something. We just have to open ourselves up and ask those two questions. Why did I just ask for that? And what if I ask for more? Maybe there's a third question. What's the more? Tell me what's more. Open my heart to more. Open my heart to me as more, so that I can recognize more. How much more do I need to be in order to know and recognize and claim more? What must I be? What must I be? Because we call in what we are. As I was thinking about Nepo's writing for today, and he started out with, you can't always get what you want, I went, can't we? But it's true, we don't get what we want, we get what we are. We get what we are. And so my prayer always is, how do I open up? How do I expand to the more of me that already exists in the quantum field? So that when I'm seeing, I see without limits. That there is no glass ceiling. We always thought that there was only a glass ceiling for women who are going up the corporate ladder. We all have a glass ceiling in consciousness, because we only know what we know. We only know what we know, and then you hit that glass ceiling, you bump your head, like I did last year, and I went, ugh. Why is that all I asked for? Is that all I want? That's not all I want. I don't want to be here always thinking about whether or not this stuff is coming back. I don't want to be there. Who wants to live like that? Though a lot of us do. No matter what it is we've claimed or what we've manifested. And yes, every single thing I've manifested has been glorious, 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 glorious. Always. Always. I'm always dumbfounded that it came to be and that here it is, sitting in my life. Here it is right here in front of me. It went from me claiming something I wanted to being present in my life. I'm always blown away. Always blown away. But now I wonder, what if I had asked for more? I'll never forget when I heard Joel Osteen say, the universe doesn't know the difference between 1 0 and 6 zeros. The same work you do to manifest $10 is the same work you do to manifest 10 million bucks. You still have to get to total faith. You still have to get where you know that whatever it is you claimed is coming in, has already come in, and it's already in my life right here, right now, live and in color. But it's our glass ceiling that stops us at $10 or $100 or $1,000. So the work is, am I a $10 spirit? Am I a $1,000 spirit? Or I probably have to go outside, am I a $10 million spirit? Got to get in the car and go drive somewhere. How expansive are we? And are we going to continue going through life like Oliver Twist in that moment, begging for more and knowing somewhere deep inside we ain't getting it? Please, sir. Scripture says don't supplicate, don't beg, don't ask, appreciate. Ask for it and say thank you because it's coming. And because you know that, and because you're aware of the law, you are aware of the promise of the divine. That if you ask for it, you claim it, and you know it in your heart, and you appreciate it, and you walking around doing a happy dance every single day because you know whatever it is you ask for is already in your life, then you got it. It's the law. It's the law. It's the law. It shall happen. It shall happen. So it's us that has to do the work. We're not trying to impress upon God. Okay, God, how come you didn't give me what I wanted? What didn't I give you such that you don't want to give me what I wanted? It's not what God said. Even though God is personal and impersonal, God is in and through and expressing as us, and God doesn't care, at least in unity philosophy. There's no entity that cares how long you meditated, and if you didn't meditate long enough, you can't get what you asked for. Or you were mean to your mother-in-law, so you're going to have to be punished for a while, and you're not going to get this. You can't have that new job because you don't like your mother-in-law. We don't believe in an entity that's out there doing that. That's being nice to one because they did more and being not so nice to the other one and punishing the other one because they didn't do enough. We believe in the law. The law. Appreciate. Claim it, appreciate it. Know it. As Jesus knew it. That's why he came and he set the example for us. Go in and claim your oneness with the divine and say thank you and move forward. Move forward with it. So after I sat in contemplation for a while, I said, well, no, I don't want just remission. Every single time I go to the doctor, I'm like, oh, Lord, is it going to work? Is it going to work? When the blood test going to, and I'm scared of every blood test, and I go in, and I'm in high anxiety because I don't know what the doctor's going to say. I had to get around that. I don't want to live like that. I want more. Then all of a sudden, it occurred to me, I just want vibrancy. I want vibrant health all the time for the next 50, 60, 70 years. And I want a sharp mind and a healthy body, and I still want to be out talking about peace and getting what you want in life and living as your highest and best self. I still want to be doing that at 100-something. That's what I want. Going for the jackpot. So I'm learning, what does it mean to be that divine being? How do I move through life as that? So that means within everything, I am celebrating vibrancy, even the days when I don't feel so vibrant. I give thanks for vibrancy. And I do whatever version of the happy dance I got energy for in the moment. So sometimes I'm dancing around the whole house, or sometimes I'm laying in bed going, I'm healthy and vibrant, I'm healthy and vibrant, healthy and vibrant. I was like that yesterday. I woke up not feeling 100%. But I'm learning now that's not the truth of me. So the expansive me that's going to be vibrant and healthy for the next 50, 60, I don't know, maybe 70 years. I'm getting rid of the glass ceiling. There's now a big hole in my glass ceiling around vibrancy, so I can see blue sky above, hear the birds chirping, but I still know there's fringes of that glass ceiling around there because I'm still working on it. And every single day, I cut a bigger hole in that glass ceiling. So I affirm that even though I wasn't feeling 100% in the morning. And then I asked my body, what is it that you need? And it told me what it needed. And so I did those things during the day. By 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I felt fine. I expected that I was going to feel fine. What are we asking for? Can you be in a place and say, is this really what I want? Am I just asking for crumbs? We've talked about this before. Are you asking for crumbs? Putting your hand out kind of tentatively, doing the Oliver Twist thing with the little bowl, asking, begging, please. You're saying, I want this. I have this. This is mine. And I'm thankful for it now. Thank you for fulfilling work that rocks my world and rocks somebody else's world, because I'm out there doing it and doing it 1,000%. Thank you for growing income. Again, you don't have to know where it comes from. You don't have to know how it's coming. You just have to claim it. It is the universe's business how it comes to be. All you got to do is ask. And then all these little things start happening out there in a quantum field, which is the universe, capital U, which is God. All these things start happening to bring it forward to you. Things can happen that have never happened before, that are illogical to the real world. We just experienced that when we went to closing on our house. And the real estate agents were saying, this stuff never happens. Well, it did. This kind of stuff doesn't happen. Buyers don't do this kind of thing. And the buyer did some weird stuff, and they said, whoa, we've never seen this before. It never happens. Well, it did. We didn't make that. Well, we claimed it. We said, this is happening. And every single time it looked like something was going to get in our way, or there was a huge hurdle, or something was going, because the calls were coming in furiously between the real estate agent and the closing people and everything else, sending emails and texts and calling. Did you get the email? Did you get the text? Oh my God, what's happening? How come you didn't call us back? And they're going all over and all over. And every single time I got a call, I would just have the phone out here. I know what I claimed. And as they got more furious, I got more calm. I know what I claimed. Let it ride. Let it ride, people. Take a breath, please take a breath. I'm so glad it's all done, because my phone is not ringing like it was before. Oh my gosh. The hysteria. But that's what happens when you don't realize that you live in a quantum field, and that there's something at work that's going to happen, that is coming forth to you, and you don't have to know how it's happened. So illogical things happen. Things that people claim never happen, happen. That's what happens when you surrender to the universe, when you surrender to the all-good, all-powerful, omniscient, omnipotent. Anything can happen. Just trust me, ask for what you want, and I'll give it to you. But you got to know that you're getting it. You got to know that I always come around. That's the law. That's the non-entity talking right there, the law talking. But you got to know it's coming. You got to trust that it's coming. You got to know that the law works and that it works for you. I want you to not just hear that, feel that right here. Not only that it works, but it works for you. Every last one of you sitting in here. I know some of you are saying, you don't know. You don't know me. You don't know the stuff I did. I don't meditate. I don't do this. I don't do that. I'm too old. I'm too this. I'm too that. Doctor said this. Test results said that. Doesn't matter. God is greater. God is greater. God is greater. God is greater. Doesn't matter what you throw at me, I'm going to say God is greater. God is greater. Fixed income, God is greater. Test results said, God is greater. And a loveless marriage, God is greater. Got problems with the kids, God is greater. I'm addicted, God is greater. I've never done this before, God is greater. I feel like crap, God is greater. My heart is broken, God is greater. I'll never be that happy, God is greater. I've always lived in turmoil, God is greater. I've been victimized, God is greater. God is greater, God is greater. God is greater. God is greater. In a world of infinite possibilities, where God is infinite possibilities, everything is possible. We just have to open ourselves to it. And we have to know that the work is ours. We have to get to the point where we believe we are that. Jesus knew he was one with the Father. Knew that unequivocally. And people knew that about him, but they didn't know it for themselves, and he spent most of his ministry telling people, you are that. You are that. Stop chasing behind me, trying to grab my cloak, because you think that's going to heal you. You are the one that is the healing. Not about me, it's about you. Not about me, it's about you. He kept saying that, not about me, it's about you. And as soon as y'all figure that out, you'll stop chasing me around. Because while you're chasing, thinking that something else is going to solve your issue, you could be solving your issue. You could be claiming you're good. While you're chasing, while you're questioning, while you're doubting, you could be claiming and saying thank you and having the thing that you want rush in. What are you asking for? Did you ask for what you truly wanted? Is there more than what you asked for? There's always more. There is always more. We live in a world of infinite possibilities. There's always more. We just have to recognize the more, because as we expand and know that we are more, we see the more. And we know that God is the more. We know that God is the more. And we just have to align ourselves with the divine and do this. Walk in alignment with the divine. So for a while, when I was still thinking in duality, but still moving towards affirming that God and I are one, I would say sometimes, let's do this. All right, let's do this. Come on, God, we're doing this now. Let's make it happen. And then you get to the moment where you say, oh, it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It has happened. Do your happy dance. As soon as you claim, do your happy dance, whatever that looks like for you. It's the law. We just have to know that we are that which we are searching for. That we are the more. You are the more. You just have to know it. Let's take this in meditation. You are so much more than you ever imagined. I'll say that again. You are so much more than you ever imagined. I want you to say that in your heart of hearts right now. And if you have to say it out loud, say it out loud. I am so much more than I ever imagined. I am so much more than I ever imagined. I am so much more than I ever imagined. I am so much more than I ever imagined. I want you to hold that affirmation, take it home with you, and I want you to say it over and over again until you feel it in your bones. Until you say it so often that you can't say it without weeping, because something within you is now believing it. And that you're releasing the you that played small and that asked for crumbs and begged for more, never believing that more was possible for you. That's not who you are. I am so much more than I ever imagined. I am so much more than I ever imagined. I am so much more than I ever imagined. Because God is so much more than I ever imagined. In a world of infinite possibilities, the world in which we live and move and have our being, there's always more. More for us to be and express. All of it waiting inside of us to be expressed, to be let loose. I am so much more than I ever imagined, because God is so much more than I ever imagined. I am so much more than I ever imagined. There's more love, greater abundance, more health, more strength, more power, more peace. There is true harmony. And I rest in the knowledge that I live in a world of infinite possibilities. So I invite you in this moment that when you ask, when you claim, that you do so as divine mind. Not based upon all that has gone on before, but with all possibility, waiting for you to call it in, to recognize that you are so much more. Waiting for you to align with the more. Waiting for you to let go of the past. Waiting for you to open your arms wide and know that you could never open your arms wide enough for all that is available. I am so much more than I ever imagined, because God is so much more than I ever imagined. So let's take a breath in and exhale. Breathe in again. Breathing in infinity, breathing out infinity. Breathing in infinity, breathing out infinity. There's an inexhaustible supply of whatever it is that you desire. But we must know that God is infinite, and unconditional love is infinite. And that love is so deep and so wide that we were gifted with the power to be whatever it is we want to be and have whatever it is we want to have. And in that, we glorify the divine. We glorify life. That is the glory of God. We glorify God by being all that we can be. Even when we hit that glass ceiling, we can choose not to have a ceiling. So what is it you have not asked for because you dared not ask? What is it you haven't asked for because you dared not ask? What is it you haven't asked for because you dared not ask? I invite you to ask for it. With absolute confidence that it is coming your way. Already has. And the happy dance begins. So it is, and so it shall be. Amen.